Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about college / the entire application season because I am actually in the process of reapplying to colleges myself because I am hoping to transfer. I'm currently a sophomore, so I'd like to start my junior year somewhere else, and I'm looking primarily just at UCs back in California. But this whole process is reminding me how stressful it is, but it's easier for me now than it is for all of you who are seniors or who are thinking about going to college in the next few years. So this video is just to give you some advice and some peace of mind and calm you down about the whole process because I know it's very overwhelming. I actually asked for these questions a few weeks ago and I was surprised at the amount of questions I got about, well, first of all, about picking a major. How do you pick a major? And I'll address that, but specifically about whether you should pursue something you love, such as an art, or if you should pursue something more practical. And those questions break my heart because I'm a film major, and I actually took a gap year after high school because I wasn't sure that I needed to go to college, and I was thinking, well, film doesn't require a degree. When you show up on a film set, they just want to know what you can do. There's no like, hey, show us your degree. That's just not a thing in filmmaking. But for a lot of careers, having a degree does help. Either way, I wanted to go to college so that I could learn about this art because there is so much that I still have to learn. But it breaks my heart that people have a passion, something that they want to pursue, but don't think that they'll be able to make enough money, or that their parents won't let them do what they really want to do, like art, music, something like that, and they would rather have them major in accounting or be a doctor, be a lawyer. Unfortunately, the way that the United States college system works is it's a very expensive process no matter what you're majoring in, and that's why it is scary to pursue something that you know doesn't guarantee you a high salary. But what I'm gonna say is that I would recommend for everyone to major in something that they really, really enjoy. I think the worst way to spend college would be to invest 4 years of your life studying something that you're not passionate about, something that you hate even, and then you graduate with that degree and then you're expected to get a job in that field, and then you're gonna spend your whole life in a field that you don't like. That's the worst thing you could do. So I really believe that everyone should follow their passions, and if you really know, I wanna do art, I wanna do film, I wanna do music, I wanna do something that's a little bit less secure, I think you should do it. And by the way, just because you major in art, an art degree, you get a BA, that doesn't mean that you won't have jobs. In my filmmaking program, we have guest speakers all the time who are working in the industry, and they tell us it's not a secure job because you're going from project to project, but still you get to do what you love. And there are a lot of different jobs out there, lots of different things. Like you may go in thinking you want to be a writer-director, and then you end up being a gaffer or an AD. You know, there's a lot of different jobs in the field that you may not even know exist. And there are a lot of ways to make a living as an artist. Now to that general question, how do I decide what to major in? When you're applying to colleges, say as a high school senior, you do not have to declare a major for most schools, unless you're applying to a specific school wanting to get into a specific program. But most of the time, I mean, so many of my friends applied as one major, you get there, you try it out for a little bit, you change majors. It's so common for people to change majors multiple times. And that's okay, because most people don't know exactly what they want to do. You may think you want to do something, you get there, it's different, you want to do something else, and that's fine. So I would recommend, if it doesn't impact your school, your program, or your admission, to just apply, I mean, pick something maybe that you're interested in, or just apply undeclared. And then when you get to school and you're doing your general ed, your common core, whatever, take a few extra classes in different things that you're interested in, try to figure out what you could major in. That's the best advice I can give you. But let me also tell you that so many people in college, not even freshmen, people all throughout every year of college, still kind of have no idea what we're doing. If that comforts you, sure. If that scares you more, I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. So never feel like you're the only person who doesn't know what's going on. It's life. It's hard to figure out what you're interested in, especially when we're all interested in so many different things. I guess the second most common question I got was money. How does this work? How does the FAFSA work? How does financial aid work? How do scholarships work? So it's recommended that everyone fills out the FAFSA. That's a free service, and that's the way that you can get your financial aid. Most schools, I think, would require it unless you're gonna pay for all of your costs out of pocket. But even people who don't expect to get any money, scholarships, grants, most people end up getting some kind of financial aid, so it's worth doing it. For me, I have a very high financial need because my parents don't have any additional income. I never had any college savings, so my financial need is very high, but that means I get a lot of financial aid. And it depends on the school that you're going to, whether it's private, whether it's public. I'm going to a private school. It's actually very expensive, but because of that, you get a lot of scholarships from the school. So I'm not paying this huge full tuition. My school's tuition is $50,000, and a huge portion of that is just a scholarship and grants from the school. So I'm taking out a few thousand in loans every year, but it's definitely nowhere near that sticker price. So when you're a freshman and you're applying, you're gonna fill out your FAFSA, and then with your acceptance, your admissions, you'll receive your financial aid offers, your awards. And they'll list out individually scholarships or grants from the school, scholarships and grants from the government, from the state. And then I think all financial aid offers include loans. So little loans, you don't have to accept the loans, but obviously the money is gonna have to come from somewhere. So if you say no to the loans, you're gonna have to be paying something out of pocket. Most schools have some kind of payment plan so your parents can pay monthly to help reach those last costs. And then of course there are tons of scholarships online that you can look for, you can apply for, essays. I remember when I was a freshman in high school, we had a college and career prep course, and my teacher always said, there's so much free money, get your free money, go apply. Go on all these websites and just apply to everything. And there's always those scholarships that are like, one click, do nothing, you could be entered to win a $10,000 scholarship. I say don't waste your time with those. The scholarships that you are gonna have the most chance of success with are ones that are gonna require some kind of work. So you're gonna have to write essays, you're gonna have to submit your financial need if it's a need-based scholarship. To be honest, I really need to get on that myself, but you don't have to do it all at once. So don't worry about scholarships right this minute. It's good to look into it, it's good to research, it's good to find things that fit your specific situation, your major. There are so many different factors, and there are very specific scholarships for very specific things. So if you fit that mold, it's great to apply to something that, you know, they're trying to give the money to a person like you. And then I also got a lot of questions about balancing stress, both while you're a senior and you're just trying to finish up your last year of high school and balance all the college craziness, and then also while you're in college, how do you balance schoolwork, life, sororities, Greek life, and jobs, whatever else you're doing. Either way, all the time, I want you to know that it's very important that you take care of yourself physically, take care of yourself mentally, and do not overburden yourself. I developed anxiety for the first time in my life during my freshman year, and it came out of nowhere for me because I'd never had that pressure before, but something about the combination of everything in my life turned to anxiety. And it's much more common than you think. Almost everyone I know has dealt with some kind of anxiety or some kind of depression or some kind of other mental problem or stress. So please take care of yourself, eat well, drink water, get enough sleep. Don't drive yourself insane, you know? You may be stressing and feel like every assignment, every test is going to make or break your life. But there's a point where you have to just stop and go, okay, there's nothing else I can do. I just need to go to bed. I need to take care of myself. I need to calm down. This will not be the end of the world. Even if it does have a big impact on something, whatever, it's not the end of the world. Some days I'm so stressed about that day of school. I'm like, oh no, I'm unprepared for this. I didn't study for this. But then you just get there, take it one thing at a time. You do the best that you can in that moment. If you're unprepared, there's nothing you can do, then just deal with it. You can't beat yourself up about it because it's already happening. And then once it's over, if you got a bad grade on something, if you messed up, accept it, learn from it, and move on. High school and college should be an enjoyable experience. It is a lot of work, and especially when you have a job and you have a lot of other extracurriculars and you're trying to still hang out with friends, it can feel like a lot, but make sure you give yourself alone time, give yourself downtime, go out in nature, go on walks, and just take care of yourself, please. And the last thing I want to talk about are college acceptances in general. I mean, most people have some kind of a dream school, or you're encouraged to have like your reach school that it's less likely that you'll get into, but you'd be very happy if you did, and then like your good school, and then your, you know, second choice, whatever. This tiered system of thinking about all the different colleges that you're applied to and how interested you are, whatever. I just want to say, if you don't get into your top choice, you don't get into your dream school, you don't get into maybe your top 3 dream schools, I think no matter where you end up, you'll be in a place where you can thrive and you can do really well. It's about your mindset. As long as you go there and you can find people to surround yourself with, as long as you're in a program of study that you're interested in, I think you can do well. You would be surprised how happy you can be at a school that you didn't think would be right for you. I just hate to see people beat themselves up over not having a high enough SAT score or ACT score, or not writing a good enough essay, or wondering what they could have possibly done to be better, to get into a certain college, and that's just not worth stressing over. The best you can do is, you know, do your best in school, high school, and then take time doing your applications, try your best on all these standardized tests, write a good essay as well as you can, submit it, and then just know that you'll end up somewhere that is good for you. Another thing I can say is I know a lot of people want to go to a top school, the most competitive schools, especially if you're like I was in high school, like an AP student, always top of your classes. You want to be somewhere where you feel distinguished. You want to be somewhere where you're like, yeah, it's hard to get in here and I made it. And sometimes it can be crushing if you don't get into those schools, and it can change your whole perception about yourself. But you are not your grades. Your academic work is something to be proud of. That is an accomplishment. To be able to commit to caring about your grades is great, but grades are not everything. Whether you get good grades, average grades, less than average grades, it doesn't define you. As long as you're doing your best, that's you. But my point was, sometimes it's nice to be at a school that's not ultra competitive. The school that I'm currently at is very, very easy to get into. Almost everybody gets accepted, but it's still such a wonderful school. There are a lot of amazing programs and teachers and students. There's an honors program, which I'm in. You may think a school as a whole isn't impressive enough or distinguished enough, but you can find a community in that school that's your place, if that makes sense. Sometimes being at a top school like UCLA, I have a couple of friends who go there, it's so cutthroat in schools like that. In every single class you're fighting to make it. And you go from being one of the top people at your high school to being equal or less than all of these other people who are the top of their high schools. But even then, that does not define you. I know that everyone wants to work hard and they want to do their best, and they think that, you know, if you don't get top grades in this class, if you don't get into the best school, you're never gonna get a good job and then you're never gonna do anything with your life. No, that's not true. It's just about how hard you work in general. So try your hardest. Do what you love. Stay organized. Don't screw yourself over by not putting in effort to things that you should be caring about. And if something is too hard for you, even after you've put everything into it, maybe that's not the right thing for you, but that's okay. You can find something else that you could be good at, and you can work really hard to be good at that. I don't know if any of this makes sense. Overall, I just hope that I helped you guys with some of these major stresses. College is a crazy, crazy experience, and even sometimes I think about how much I have in student loans already, and I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? But I love education. I love the opportunity that I have to get this college degree, and now I've got to finish, because who wants all those student loans without that piece of paper at the end? Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment below if you have any more questions. Answer each other's questions. I'm gonna be replying to comments too. And in general, just let's all stay calm, okay? It's gonna be months and months and months before we hear any admission stuff. So get your applications done and then chill out. Enjoy the rest of your school year. Okay, thanks, bye.